My first day at my new job changed my life in less than 10 seconds. I was introducing myself to my new assistant when a framed photo on her desk caught my attention. My heart stopped. The man smiling beside her was my husband, Daniel. Before I could say a word, she picked up the frame and smiled. "That's my fiancé. We've been together for 3 years. We're getting married soon." 3 years. I had been married to Daniel for 7. The room suddenly felt smaller. My hands wanted to shake, but I refused to give him that victory. I didn't tell her who I was. I didn't make a scene. Instead, I asked quietly, "What's his name?" "Daniel Carter," she answered proudly. At that moment, I realized my husband wasn't having an affair. He was living an entirely different life. And if he could hide this for 3 years, what else was he hiding from me? If you were in my position, would you expose him immediately or stay silent? Comment below. And don't forget to like and subscribe, because what I discovered next was far worse than the betrayal itself. Until that morning, I thought I knew my husband. I'm Olivia Carter, 32 years old, a marketing manager, and for 7 years I had built a life with Daniel. We owned a beautiful home, shared bank accounts, and spent years planning our future together. At least that's what I believed. Every morning, Daniel kissed me goodbye before leaving for his finance executive job. Every night, he came home acting like a devoted husband. Meanwhile, according to Emily, he was planning a wedding with her. The worst part wasn't the betrayal. It was realizing that neither of us knew the truth. Emily wasn't acting like a mistress. She was acting like a woman in love. A woman who genuinely believed she was his future wife. That meant Daniel hadn't been telling a few lies. He had built 2 completely separate lives. And if he could hide an entire fiancé for 3 years, I had to ask myself one terrifying question. How much of our money had disappeared into his secret life? Like this video if you would have started investigating too. What I uncovered next made the betrayal look small. That night, I didn't confront Daniel. I smiled, ate dinner with him, and acted exactly like I always had. Then, after he fell asleep, I opened our financial records. Within minutes, I found transfers I didn't recognize. Thousands of dollars had been moving out of our accounts for years. At first, the payments looked ordinary. Then patterns appeared. Luxury jewelry stores. High-end vacations. Designer boutiques. Expenses that had nothing to do with our life together. The deeper I dug, the worse it became. There were wire transfers to a company I had never heard of. Large deposits. Regular payments. The total wasn't a few $1,000s. It was enough for a down payment on a luxury apartment. The next morning, Emily walked into the office glowing with excitement. "Daniel says we're going apartment shopping soon," she said. Apartment. My stomach tightened. The money wasn't disappearing randomly. My husband was using our marital assets to build a future with another woman. And if that wasn't enough, I discovered something else hidden inside those records. A new company. One that didn't include my name. But it did include hers. Subscribe now, because the next discovery revealed just how carefully Daniel had planned his double life. Most people think revenge begins with anger. Mine began with silence. I called my best friend, Rachel, a divorce attorney who specialized in asset protection. After reviewing the financial records, she gave me one piece of advice. Don't confront him. Not yet. So I watched. Every day, Emily shared details about her relationship. She talked about wedding plans, future children, and the company Daniel was building with her. The more she spoke, the more I realized she wasn't my enemy. She was another victim. Daniel had convinced her he was single. Meanwhile, Rachel uncovered documents showing that the startup's funding came directly from accounts Daniel and I owned together. Then we found something even bigger. A contract for a luxury apartment. The down payment had already been made. Using marital funds. Daniel wasn't planning an affair anymore. He was preparing an escape. A new home. A new business. A new family. All paid for with the life we had built together. And he had no idea I was collecting every receipt, transfer, and signature. Like this video if you think staying calm is harder than getting angry. Because the next piece of evidence almost exposed my entire plan. For the next few weeks, I became invisible. I stopped asking questions. I stopped checking on Daniel. I acted like the trusting wife he thought I was. Meanwhile, Rachel and I built a case. Every bank transfer was documented. Every payment connected to the apartment was traced. Every company filing was copied and secured. Then an unexpected opportunity appeared. One afternoon, Emily excitedly showed me photos from a dinner Daniel had arranged for potential investors. In the background of one picture, I spotted a presentation screen. I zoomed in. There it was. The name of the new company. And Emily listed as co-founder. That single image connected everything. The money transfers. The apartment. The business. The future Daniel was secretly building. He thought he was protecting himself by keeping me in the dark. What he didn't realize was that every step he took created another piece of evidence. But just when our case seemed airtight, Rachel called me with alarming news. Someone had started moving documents out of the company records. And if those files disappeared, months of work could vanish with them. Subscribe and comment what you think Daniel was trying to hide, because the next move nearly destroyed everything. Rachel's warning wasn't an exaggeration. Several company documents had suddenly been removed from public access. Financial records that linked Daniel's startup to our marital accounts were disappearing one by one. Someone was cleaning up the trail. For the first time, I felt genuine fear. If Daniel realized I was investigating, he could move money, hide assets, and make recovery nearly impossible. Then something happened that made the situation even worse. Emily walked into my office looking upset. "Daniel has been acting strange lately," she said. "He's canceling meetings and asking weird questions about who knows details about the company." My pulse quickened. He was suspicious. Not of me specifically, but of someone. That night, Rachel and I worked for hours securing copies of every transfer, contract, and company filing we had collected. We backed everything up before it could disappear. By morning, we had preserved the evidence. But Daniel was moving faster than before. A few days later, Emily shared exciting news. The company launch party was officially scheduled. Investors, partners, and industry leaders would all be there. Daniel thought it would be the night his new life began. I decided it would be the night the truth ended it. Subscribe now, because everything was about to explode in front of the people Daniel wanted to impress most. The launch party was everything Daniel had dreamed of. Investors filled the room. Industry executives shook his hand. Emily stood beside him, smiling proudly, convinced she was about to begin her future as his wife and business partner. Then I arrived. The moment Daniel saw me, the color drained from his face. He knew. I walked calmly to the front of the room and introduced myself. "My name is Olivia Carter." The room stayed quiet. Then I delivered the sentence that changed everything. "I've been Daniel's wife for the last 7 years." Silence. Emily stared at me, confused. Daniel tried to interrupt, but I wasn't finished. I displayed bank records, transfer receipts, company filings, and the apartment contract. Every document showed the same thing. The startup had been funded with marital assets. The apartment had been purchased using money from our shared accounts. Investors began checking the documents themselves. One by one, they stepped away. Emily's expression turned from confusion to devastation. For 3 years, she had believed she was engaged to an honest man. In less than 3 minutes, his entire double life was exposed. And the room became so silent that Daniel couldn't hide behind another lie. Like and subscribe, because the consequences were even worse than he imagined. By the end of the week, every investor had withdrawn. The startup collapsed before it ever launched. The company records, bank transfers, apartment contract, and financial statements proved exactly where the money came from, and Rachel used that evidence during the divorce proceedings. The court ordered a full review of the diverted marital assets. A significant portion of the money Daniel had transferred was recovered and included in the settlement. Emily ended the relationship immediately. She learned that every promise, every wedding plan, and every story Daniel had told her during those 3 years was a lie. She wasn't my enemy. She had been deceived too. 6 months later, the divorce was final. Daniel lost his wife, his fiancé, his investors, his business, and the future he thought he had secured. As for me, I moved forward with my life, free from the marriage and the secrets that came with it. I didn't destroy Daniel's future. I simply revealed the truth. And sometimes, the truth is all it takes. If you discovered a double life like this, would you expose it immediately or wait for the perfect moment? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories.